Hey basketball coaches and basketball players, today I'm going to talk to you about some easy motion offensive basketball plays that you can run with your basketball team. But first, hit that like button and subscribe, not for me, but for Bugs. Yeah, for you. Okay, so we're going to start with the 5-out. The 5-out is one of the most basic and easiest basketball motion offenses that you can run. And of course, if this is the future, I probably will have a book of most of these motion offenses out as well. So check the descriptions and comments in the future. Not currently though. Anyways, so really quickly, the 5-out is very simple. Once player 1 passes that ball, he has three options. He can cut towards the rim, or he can go and set a screen for player 4, or he can set a screen away, in this case for player 5. If he sets a screen for player 4 is going to use that screen, go up top to where that position originally was, and player 1 is going to then roll towards that basket. Player 4 can then pass to player 1 for the layup. Now, if this is the corner, player 1 has two different options. He can go and pop back out, or he can screen away for player 3. Player 3 would then pop out and fill that spot, and player 1 would then fill player 3's spot. Of course, player 3 may be open for that shot, so keep that in mind. If player 4 was to pass and cut, then when he cuts, player 3 needs to then fill player 4's spot, and player 4 now needs to pop out towards the 3-point line. Essentially, with the 5-out, there's 5 spots on the outside of the 3-point line, and they always have to be filled. Now, even though this is not the most basic thing, what I'm going to explain next, this is going to help a lot of teams and a lot of players learn how to play basketball, and that is running off ball. Which means, let's say player 5 passes to player 3 and then decides to set or to go and cut towards the rim. Normally, we would have player 2 fill, player 1 fill, and player 5 pop out. However, I would actually prefer player 2 to set that screen away for player 1 to fill the top, player 5 to fill player 2's spot, and then player 2 would then pop out. The idea behind this is because now there's more movement on the court and creates more open opportunities to score. Now, when this ball is passing around, I really don't want the ball to pass, stay in one spot, wait for everything else to finish and peter out before passing it again. If this first player is not open or that roll is not open, pass away to the other side, and now you have the opportunity to now maybe screen away. Player 1 would then fill that spot, and let's say because there hasn't been any movement on this side yet, player 5 is going to screen down for player 2. Player 1 may be open to pass 2, and now player 3 could screen away for player 2 who was coming up from the baseline, who's going to be popping up. And now, player 3 pops out, player 5 pops out, player 2 may be open for a 3. And you really want to move this really quickly. However, at first, you're going to want to teach your team slowly and then have them run it faster and faster and faster in practice. Now, in this next simple motion offense, we're going to start with player 5 on the same low post side as that ball. Now, what's going to happen is player 5 is going to go to the high post, player 2 is going to pass to player 5, and now I want to see player 2 make a decision one way or the other. And what I want to see is player 2 either screening for player 1 or to player 3. If he screens to player 1, it's very simple. Player 1 is going to use that screen, and now we're going to have player 1 open up top, or we can have him decide to go and set a screen for player 3. And when he sets that screen for player 3, we want to see player 3 use that screen and cut towards the rim. This is a great motion to run against a zone. Same as the 5-out. 5-out will spread out the offense or spread out the zone defense. What this is going to do for you is create high to low post passes, which does beat a lot of zone defenses. Now, once this is over, we're going to have player 3. What's going to happen here is a couple of different options, but the easiest is for him to set a screen for player 4, and now player 1 is going to be popping back up top. Player 4 is going to be using that screen. He may be open along the baseline near the net, and now we're going to have player 1. He's going to go out to the free throw line extended, and we're going to have now player 4 using player 1 as a screen. Player 4 is going to be popping back up, and we're going to have a pass out to player 4, and player 5 is going to go down into that low post. Now we're setting up that offense again. Or what could have happened is player 2 could screen away if player 5 still had that ball and none of this was open. We could now have player 2 screen away, player 3 pop up, 5 passes to 3, and now player 5 goes to this low post. Again, lining up with that ball. And now we can run that same 4-out motion again. Now another simple motion is one against a zone defense. So what we have here is a 3-2 zone defense. And what we're going to run is having player 1 to pass over to player 3, and player 1 is going to go down into this low corner. So now it looks like we're setting up the triangle, I'm not going to lie, but we're going to have player 5 go to the high post. Now the idea, obviously player 1 would not be going out there. The idea behind this is to get that ball into that high post, which now should be an open shot unless player 5 or 4 makes a mistake to go up and guard him, which would be a high to low post pass. If this doesn't work and we don't have a pass option into that low post, what I want to see happen is player 2 to cut up top, player 3 to pass to player 2. The other option, if you're too afraid a wing to point pass because they tend to get picked off, you could now have player 2 come over, set a screen for player 3, and now we would have player 5 go into that low post, and now we would have player 3 continue over. Player 4 would be going into the high post, and player 1 is going to be swinging the baseline or cutting baseline and popping out to the free throw line extended, and now player 3 would pass to player 1 and cut down towards that low corner. The idea behind the swing is to spread out the defense, and anytime you can swing that ball against a zone, you're creating many different driving lanes towards the basket. There's 3 easy ways to beat a zone defense. Get the ball into the paint and kick it out. And the other option is high to low passes. And the third option is to swing the ball around the perimeter. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe for bugs, and I'll see you guys again next time.